Hi, this is the quiz review for 5.1 and 5.2, specifically looking at the back side of the review, which is your application standard. So the first question on it was just create a scatter plot, and I think that you should be able to draw that over here, making your x-axis time, your y-axis height. When you look at your scatter plot, again, you're just asking which one describes the data, and it can be, part B is again, which one do you think at first, and then we're specifically going to use our calculator to find out which one fits the best. So I'm going to start there with which one fits the best. So I'm going to hit Stat, I'm going to hit Edit, and then I'm going to enter in all of my values into my calculator like you see here. And then as we saw in class, we're going to go to Stat, Calculate, and it kind of looked like a quadratic parabola, so I'm not going to try number 4, I'm going to try number 5. Again, if you have an 83, you just push enter. 84s and higher, go down to calculate, and you're looking at that r squared value. So the r squared value is very high, 0.99977. But we check to see if, again, stat, calculate, you go down to cubic and see if that one is even better. So just go down to calculate, you look at the r squared value again, and now it's 0.9984. So cubic is better than quadratic in terms of a fit. And then we're going to try one more time the quartic. So we're going to go down to 7. And when we get to 7, we push enter again. If you have an 83, just push enter. 84s, go down to calculate, push enter. And we see that this one has an r squared value of 0.9985. So our quartic is the type of regression that fits the best. So I'm going to go over here and type it in here. So which one describes it the best? The quartic actually describes it the best. Explain. It has the largest r squared of 0.998557 again. And then it says write your equation. So we have y equals and that is a 0.13x to the fourth minus 0.86x cubed minus 15.14x squared plus 65.65x plus 78.62. So that's the equation that we found using our calculator. Now I'm going to hit y equals, and I'm going to type that into my y equals equation. Again, once you've plugged it into your calculator, just double check that you have the right signs about what you wrote down, you have the right decimal places, right exponents, etc. If you want to graph your dots, a really fast way is just to go up to the plot 1 and push enter so it's highlighted. And then I'm just going to hit zoom, and I'm going to go down to number 9, stat. That will show me my dots and my graph. So there are my dots, and there's my graph, and I can see, wow, that goes through almost all the points. Next, it says according to the model. The model means according to your equation, not according to your table. What's the maximum height? So you do second trace, go down to maximum, push enter, and then we've done this before. Go to the left of your max, go to the right of your max, and then push enter. And it turns out that our maximum height is very close to the table. It's just a few decimal places higher at 44.58 feet. So it's about a half a foot higher. So what is the maximum height? It's 144.58 feet. At what times of the ball have a height greater than or equal to 100? Since 100 is a y value, you're going to hit y equals, you're going to go to another y value, and you're going to type in 100. And then you're going to hit graph. And you should see a line for where 100 is, and it wants to know when is your graph greater than 100. So we need to find that intersection points for each. So you do second trace, number 5, enter. It says first curve, and you have a y1, so you just push enter. It says second curve, and you have a y2, so you push enter. And now it says guess, You can either guess an x value or you can use your arrow to get closer. I don't know, this is 1 second. It looks to me like 0.2 seconds. Again, you can type in 1 or you can move your cursor. It actually turns out to be 0.35. So at what times? 0.3, I'm going to round 6, and then a time was in seconds. Until this point. So again, second trace, number 5. Again, you can either use your arrows or you can just push number 5. Same questions, first curve, y1, so you just push enter. Second curve, you push enter. And then for the guess, you guess out here. Looks to be 1, 2, 3, maybe 3.5. And it actually is 3.6, looks like a 0 to me. So 3.6, and I'm going to round up to 1 seconds. So at what time will the ball height be greater than or equal to 100 feet? From 0.36 seconds to 3.61 seconds. At what times will the ball be greater than 200 feet? So again, you go to y equals, instead of 100 here, you type in 200, you hit graph, and you look for your red line. And when you look at your red line, you don't even see a red line. So will your graph ever be above 200? Nope. So you hit never. And then question G is, when does it hit the ground? The ground would be your x-axis, and I currently don't see it in my window. So I'm going to change my window, and I'm actually going to make this just a little bit more. Oops, not this one. I'm going to make my y value negative, so I have an x-axis. So I'll make it like -5. I'm going to hit graph, and now I see my x-axis. The ball hits the ground somewhere past 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, and I don't even see it. So I'm going to go back to my window. I'm going to make this higher. So let's make this 7 seconds. Now I see up to 7, and it looks like it hits the ground somewhere around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Since this is my x-axis, that's when it's 0, I'm going to hit second trace, because if your ball is hitting the ground, your height is 0. Push enter. Again, it's going to ask me left bound and right bound. I'm trying to find this point. So I can either use my cursor to be to the left, push enter, and then use my cursor to be to the right, which I can't really see it because it's underground, and then I just push enter for guess, and it turns out the ball does hit the ground at about 5.02 seconds. If you used different decimal places, your answers are going to be different. I've said in class that we only want 2 decimal places. So 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places. If you have other questions, make sure that you stop in and ask.